Junpei. This is a very weird character, not just within the scope of P4AU, but in pretty much all fighting games. He's kind of mediocre until you activate Super Saiyan, at which point he's one of the scariest opponents to see on the other side of the screen. His gimmick is based off of baseball. I'll explain that more in depth later, but fulfilling the conditions for this mechanic turns Junpei into an absolute monster of a character. The type of player that I recommend Junpei for is the low tier champion. If you pride yourself on taking the low tier challenge to demonstrate your mastery and ability to overcome inherent adversity, pick Junpei. And I say that not because the character is actually low tier or anything, but base form Junpei is a character that requires a ton of patience, learning, and optimizations to get the reward of Victory Cry Junpei, who can be super oppressive and devastate opponents. But if you aren't willing to put in the work on mastering the process to activate Victory Cry in the first place, there's no point in playing a character who'll feel half-baked more often than not. Okay, so first off, Junpei is an incomplete character before he activates Victory Cry. But base Junpei actually has some pretty good tools. The mediocre aspect is that you don't consistently get what other characters get for the same effort. You don't always get good knockdown pressure off of your hits. It's hard to even get a hit sometimes due to lack of mix-ups, and you do subpar damage when you do get them. And I know it sounds like I'm starting off the pros list with a con, but you do have the tools to play at all ranges, which is a super good part about base form Junpei. So once you do get that Victory Cry activated, these enhancements to Junpei's moveset take that incomplete character and push him beyond what most characters are capable of, with the lockdown pressure off of high damage combos and the ability to dominate at pretty much any range in the game. And base form Junpei gets to play a pretty balanced neutral game. Yes, you are focused on rushing the opponent down, but you can counter a lot of what various opponents try to do by playing the game that they're bad at. So rush down characters, you can keep them out a little bit. Zoning characters, you can counter their zoning, things like that. He also doesn't depend too heavily on meter, especially once you get a few runs going, so you're free to spend more on system mechanics like one more cancels and reversals. And Victory Cry also passively regenerates meter and health, so your total SP expenditure over the course of the entire match way outpaces most other characters in the game. So cons, as already stated, you gotta get into Victory Cry to become a real threat. But that's not the con in and of itself. The real bad part is how volatile certain matchups become and how likely you can expect to accumulate enough runs to go Super Saiyan. You'll understand more when I explain the mechanic more in depth. Beyond just matchup specific hurdles, maintaining the momentum to get your Victory Cry activated in general is a major gatekeep when trying to learn Junpei. Lastly, Junpei isn't a character you get to do scrambly cute mix-up shit with. You gotta get your openings where you can get them to start the pressure train. Sure, you can find some gimmicks that might work for a bit, but your approach overall is going to be pretty honest. You can do some slick stuff with resources, but those options are a bit riskier than what a lot of other characters can do. So the baseball mechanic. This shit has a lot going on in a very small package, so I'm gonna do my best to explain this, especially people who are not familiar with baseball. You've got 5 things working in unison here. Firstly, you have the run system. That's the diamond part. You need 10 points to get Victory Cry activated. How do you get points? Well, you gotta score a run. To score a run, you need to light up those little squares. That's called getting a base. Every attack that uses Junpei's bat gives you a base when you hit the opponent with it. You can also get a base by reflecting projectiles using bat attacks. The bases are ordered from the bottom going counterclockwise. Every time you get a base, it backfills. So if you had the first base already and get another one, first base gets pushed to second base. Get another base, and that one pushes first to second and second to third. Now your bases are full. When your bases are full and you get a hit, again, all the bases are pushed up. So that third base moves to home base, which grants you a run, and that scores you a single point. When you've got all the bases loaded, every bad attack that hits is going to get you a point. Get it to 10 and you've got Victory Cry activated automatically when you return to neutral. Now you've got those other meters in there, strikes, balls, and outs. If you whiff a bad attack and hit nothing, that's a strike. 3 strikes, you get an out. If you get a hit while you have any active strikes, they go away. If the opponent hits you, throws you, or bursts on you, you get an out as well. 3 outs and you lose all of your accumulated bases. But you can never lose the amount of runs that you've scored already. That number will only go up, and it also carries over in between rounds. Now the balls meter is another way to get bases. If you make the opponent block a bat attack and you get a ball point, 4 balls give you a base. You can also accumulate ball points by hitting personas and companion characters like Koromaru. Similar to strikes, getting a hit will get a base and remove any points in the balls meter. Now keep this system in mind as we get into an overview of the basic attacks. For full details, as always, you can check out the Junpei character page on dustloop.com. Also, in addition to the character page on Dustloop, I'm going to urge you to check out the amazing character text guide by Max Sev, a Persona Fight Club Discord community member. Linked down in the comments. Your standing A attacks are fairly run-of-the-mill A attacks and auto combos. The second hit of the standing A attacks, auto combo, gives you a advancing move that is very useful. Standing B and crouching B are your basic bat attacks to score bases with. They have decent range, and crouching B can anti-air opponents. Both moves can reflect projectiles. For the jumping basic attacks, jump A is a good air-to-air, while down A gives you a dive kick. But jumping B is the real star of these basic attacks. You'll be relying on this a lot. Counter hits with it enable some really dope combo conversions. Sweep has good range and can be made safe by canceling into skill attacks. Great move to snipe out a low profile or ranged hit and pop one more cancel or one more burst to go crazy with. Junpei's persona attacks give him a lot of options in neutral. Standing C is a good mid-range poke that can lead into combos and be dash cancelled on hit or block, as well as your go-to counter hit tool to start off a high damage punish. Crouching C is really good. You will be fishing for this to start some of your highest damaging combos. Jumping C is a very useful air attack. It halts your air momentum, helping you to bait throws and start combos if you do manage to get a counter hit. The grounded D attacks summon Junpei's persona to execute flying hits that lock down the opponent while Junpei is free to act. They have a bit of startup, so they're best used after a knockdown so the opponent can't just smack it away and take a persona card from you. Jumping D is a pretty cool move to throw out in neutral from time to time. Crouching D and jumping down plus D, they're a bit faster and get you a nice angle to stuff out air approaches. Junpei's throw is pretty good since you can combo with it in the corner. His Furious Action DP is pretty unique. It has invincibility, but doesn't actually let go of the attack until you press an attack button again. Also, the invincibility goes away pretty quickly. It's actually better for combos than as a reversal, but there are times where you can benefit from using it to get out of sticky situations on defense. For the skill attacks, first we've got quarter circle forward AB, which gives you the super spin swing, mostly used in combos. Quarter circle back A and B gives you super bunt, which has a bit of armor on startup that can be useful, and also gets you a knockdown to end combos with. The B version can also be charged to really bait attacks by utilizing that armor. Both the B and SB versions are plus on block, so you can reset pressure with them. Quarter circle forward gives you full speed slide, another combo tool that you really don't want to look to use in neutral since you can get fatal counter hit and it's really minus on block. But it can also start some of your most intensely damaging combos with a one more cancel or one more burst. One more cancel can also kind of make it safe. So it does have some utility in neutral. Deathbound can be used to effectively disrupt zoning opponent strategies, as well as baiting out anti-air so that you can counter them with it. But be wary of getting it blocked because it's pretty easy to lose persona cards for free that way. However, SB Deathbound is really good because it's pretty plus on block and can be used as an approach. So now that you know the basic moves and hopefully understand the baseball mechanic, we can dig into what exactly Victory Cry is. Once you've gotten 10 runs, Victory Cry pops automatically at no SP cost the moment that you return to neutral. More often than not, if you got to 10 runs in a combo, it means that your combo is finished. But a lot of the better combo routes actually end up popping you into Victory Cry in the middle of the combo since they incorporate links instead of just attack cancels, meaning that you return to neutral for a second before picking up the opponent with a bad attack. Victory Cry carries over in between rounds, so your objective is to get into the mode as quickly as possible. Also, you'll notice that you can still get more bases and runs, maxing out at 55. Stacking more scores boosts the effects. As mentioned before, Junpei passively gains health and meter in Victory Cry. All his moves also do more damage. But here's the main advantage: clean hits. All your bat attacks gain additional effects when you air juggle the opponent while at a specific spacing. These clean hits allow you to unlock Junpei's most damaging combos, bat loops. And most importantly, mastering them makes you look really cool and they just sound so good. And maximizing this mechanic isn't as hard as it may appear. Junpei's moveset is designed specifically to optimize the spacing for clean hits, and the more familiar you get with Victory Cry attacks, you'll pretty much get the hang of when to manually adjust the spacing whenever you have to. Getting these clean hits down is very important to maximizing your performance. So now we've got the regular super moves, which make much more sense now that you understand how to score clean hits. First off, we have Inferno Homer, which puts you in a super stance and you can press an attack to execute the hit. Now you get different effects based on what attack you press. A and C give you a home run, while B and D give a clean hit, which can lead to combo extension. Starting out, you're going to be focusing on getting the home run. Very important to note that the home run trigger is similar to the clean hit trigger. You need to hit them at a specific spacing. So too close and you won't get it. So what does the home run do? It gives you an automatic run and cashes out any bases you have into more runs. So you're often going to be confirming into these home run super moves to get into Victory Cry more easily. Now Comeback Grand Slam has a bunch of cool and innovative uses. It summons your persona to throw a fireball at you that you can hit back to do a lot of damage with. The D version summons Trismegistus further away from you, and the fireball can bring the opponent to you for a home run. Once you get the basics down, you can look into the other cool ways to use this super move, because it's very versatile. The Awaken Super Vorpal Bat, really good. If you're an Awakening, you want to combo into this for a bunch of damage to secure a kill and get the round. The C version is the easiest to time, the D is harder and does more damage, and the SB version is very tight, but hits for the highest amount of damage. Alright, now Junpei has a lot of branches his combo routes can go into. In this video, I'm going to give you combos focused specifically on accumulating runs, but there are situations and matchups where you'll want to opt for knockdown situations at the cost of getting 1 or 2 bases in a combo. But that's more intermediate level, so we'll stick to the basics. The basic combo starter you're going to hit is a 5A. So here's some combos that work off of hitting the first 2 hits of the auto combo while close to the opponent. First one is a very easy combo. Not much to it, and you get a little knockdown at the end. This combo is a bit harder, and you might struggle with timing the micro dash after the slide, but just keep at it. You want to get good at the dash after the slide, since the real juicy combos later on are definitely going to need you to hit that micro dash into B attacks, which is a much tighter timing than the A attack out of the dash that you see right here. So when we have the opponent in the corner, we can take advantage of the slide attack, which is the 3rd hit of the auto combo, which gives you enough time to use the B version of Spin Swing, which allows you to combo into 5 more bad attacks using the C attack to jump cancel with. Similarly, you can get the same off of a throw. And all these combos can be altered to end in a home run for the additional run and cash out. Furthermore, you can lead into them with counter hit 5C dash cancels and get additional damage off of the stronger starter to really punish things like DPs and whatnot. Beyond this, there are character specific combos you can learn that allow you to squeeze out another base or 2, and an earlier Victory Cry could mean the difference between winning and losing. So definitely dig into those in the Dust Loop combo section or MaxSev's text guide once you're comfortable with the easy stuff. Now for the fun part, Victory Cry combos. Here's a super simple one. When you're in Victory Cry, you can get a really nice knockdown with a standing A hit from pretty much any distance. But here's the main spectacle of Victory Cry, bat loops. I mentioned this earlier. The clean hit system allows you to loop bat attacks by canceling them with hops. So, you know, the basic part of the combo into the slide, you hit the micro dash standing A into standing B. Easy enough, you've been doing that already, right? And now with the additional hits done off of the clean hits, we'll jump, instead of jump canceling the standing B hit, we'll hop cancel it and get a clean hit jumping B, which gives us enough time to dash a little bit and repeat the standing B into hop cancel into another jumping B. Then we can finish it off. This gives you fantastic damage as well as a lot of corner carry. Once you've got the basics of the bat loop down, you can start exploring some more of the advanced mid-screen combos that give you even better damage as well as some safe jumps. And now here's a high damage corner victory cry combo. This one's going to take a lot of practice to get down. Starting off, the slide into super bunt requires a bit of semi-precise timing. You want to make sure that you hit them with the super bunt charged a little bit above the bat so that you get the clean hit, followed up by the furious action and let it go pretty much immediately. And then you gotta wait just a little bit for them to bounce off the wall to time your super bat swing. Then you get the pickup, jump cancel the pickup crouching B into the dive kick, hit them with A version of the super bunt, and then you finish the combo off by picking them back up with the crouching C into slide, into another pickup. Similar to the base form routes that I gave you, this is just scratching the surface of the different permutations you can get into for Junpei's combos. Pretty soon you'll be able to just start freestyling and like make your own on the fly. But start here and then dive into the other stuff when you're feeling confident. For the strategy, going into matches with Junpei, your primary objective is obvious. Get runs, pop victory cries early into every match as possible, and ride the momentum as you snowball to victory. So how do we get there? Well, neutral with Junpei often calls for aggression. You want to push the issue and get into that mid-range to tag them with hit confirms or start your block pressure. As such, starting out you'll probably have a bit of dependency on air approaches due not only to how good his jumping attacks are by themselves, but how much better his air movement and attacks are than his ground game, especially with his suboptimal walk and dash speed. You're going to want to leverage those persona moves we talked about earlier to compensate for the janky grounded movement, especially to combat zoners who try to lock you out of that optimal mid-range you want to play at. The persona specials are a bit more committal, so learning how and when to use them is mostly a matter of practice and feel. Defensively, you just got to play solid. Try to play at your optimal spacing. A well-spaced slide can be a nice surprise to throw out in neutral, and you can cancel and make it safe while taking up the positioning that you excel at, that mid-range that we talked about. And don't forget, you can deflect projectiles with any bat attack and score bases as well. For the pressure, your main engage will be your advancing standing A attacks followed up by some bat normals. That'll build up your ball meter, and then you can throw out a variety of specials to either bait a response or reset pressure, many times with a metered special attack. Frame traps are your friend here. Most of these options leave a gap in between. So, you know, invulnerable moves are going to blow you up, but you beat that with conditioning. Like if you use an armored super bunt as part of your pressure strings and they try to DP or match through and you punish them pretty hard for it, you've got them thinking a bit more about what you're going to do next. Those extra milliseconds of stunned decision making affords you the ability to do fake stuff. And by fake stuff, I mean block strings that would normally not work because the gap is too obvious. But when they're jabbing a few frames slower than they should, that leaves room to get blown up by something super risky, like throwing full speed slide into your block string with a one more cancel, confirm into a bunch of high damage. But remember, if you haven't put the fair in them, they'll easily blow something like that up and fatal counter combo you to death. But Junpei kind of necessitates that you take a few of these big gambles here and there, so you should be putting a focused effort towards varying your pressure approaches to give you the leeway to make those big gambles just a bit less risky. The pressure section of Maxev's guide will give you everything you need to learn on how to mix up your pressure strings, from the safest options to the most dangerous. And with that, you should be equipped for success. Now get into the lab and master those bat loops. Thanks for watching, and see y'all next time.